All right. Welcome back. And I hope you had a good time with Top Quiz and Ray and Jack. But now it's time for Shoulder Tap. Time to share some success. Time to avoid some failure. And let's bring in our risk manager, Brett, to share who's doing well and who needs a kick in the butt. Brett,
Good
how are you, man?
afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm doing great, Eddie. It's a little cool in the office today, but I guess the computers will run better that way. Um, but doing great. We've got traders that are making money, and we've got some tales of woe that still involve profitable trading, but it ain't pretty. I'll say that. But looking forward to getting into it.
All right. I do see you got some nice warm Topstep swag. I like that. Nice little hoodie there. And let's get going. But before we go, Brett, we've got a lot of new people here today. And can you give us a quick synopsis on what you actually do as a risk manager?
So, as a risk manager at Topstep specifically, we work with the traders, and some of them I'm even going to be talking about today. First of all, it's a treat to be able to talk to so many of our traders and communicate the things that we really do believe and think will make better traders. And some of those, Nathan, which I know Mick talked about yesterday, I'm going to talk about him again a little bit today. He was up significantly yesterday, and some of the job is reaching out to traders like that and saying, hey, it's time, cut the cord to your mouse if you have to. Because pullbacks, even though you're still on the right side of zero, can really be painful. You need a stop loss, even if you're in profitable territory. But really helping traders develop and learn from what the market is giving them and evolve, because as a trader, evolving with the markets is what you have to do, and adapting to the changing markets, because just because something worked today doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow.
Right. Well, all right. Well, let's dive in and see who you've got for us today.
All right. I've got a few. First, I want to give a few shout outs to David A. David A is up 1,800 in live. Coach Dakota, last I checked, Coach Dakota has a $6,030 profit. Think Coach Dakota had some trades on, so that could have changed in the last 10 minutes. And then Nicholas T, another familiar name, is right there on Dakota's heels at 6,010 in profits. But again, some of this may have changed in the last 10, 15 minutes.
It could change in a minute. Right.
Oh, yeah. The only safe play is taking profits or taking losses and not being in the market. That's the only way that I know to avoid it. But right. The first trader I want to get into is Nathan N. This is the trader that I had mentioned Mick had talked about yesterday. Uh-huh. Nathan had a heck of a day yesterday. There's a few things that I really want to point out on Nathan's trading. He had a heck of a day. He did great. He made, I think it was 10,500 on the trading day yesterday. And unfortunately, I have to say that is a bit disappointing. This is a trader that this was the trader that Mick was talking about yesterday, that I think when Shoulder Tap was going on with Mick, the trader was up $57,000. And yes. Mick told me about how he had reached out to him a number of times, and unfortunately, he only ended up just a little bit over 10,000 in profit. I know Mick had said at $40,000, you want to be done. And even though he was almost up to 60,000, he did take a break for about an hour, but then Nathan pulled back all the way to 12,000 in profits. And he got a little bit of a reprieve from that, getting back up to 30,000. But then it went south again. And I mean, it happens to so many traders. It's happened to me, Eddie. I know you've talked about it happening to you, but sometimes it can be very difficult to trade on a big winning day after that big windfall, because another $1,000 on 57 doesn't seem like much, but it's still $1,000
Right.
and a lot of
Yeah,
money.
that was a big day. I mean, if I put something up like that, I'd still be laying in a gutter, drunk off my ass, happy as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Even though he walked out positive, gosh, he gave so much back.
Yeah, and Nathan, he was really trading from the short side. He had a very short bias, it seemed like, on the day, was only short when he had those big winning trades. And then later in the day, when the P&Ls were kind of roller coastering all over the place, he was doing 15s, getting long, getting short, and it really kind of struck me as anger trading. And anger trading, for those few times that it works, it can be a lot of fun, but it doesn't work a lot, and it often ends up making a bad situation worse. I chose to do another trading card for Nathan today because it has changed from yesterday's a bit.
Okay.
If he'd stopped, he's only got 5 days in the account, but unfortunately he did hit his daily loss limit today. But a few things I wanted to point out. He's got one winning day, that being the day yesterday that he went up almost 60,000 and then ended up taking 10,000 out of the markets. But he's got that one winning day. Every other day is a daily loss limit. So even though Nathan was able to make $10,000 trading yesterday, he's still down on average $460 for each trading day, which shows the value in making sure you're on the right side of zero every day, not necessarily being hugely on the right side of zero with a large 5-figure or even bigger winning day, but just taking something out of the markets, because those losses, especially when each one is a daily loss limit, they really stack up quickly and can really squander profits.
Right.
Um,
I'm looking at April 18th. There's another negative $3,000 day, but his P&L high was $4,500. The thing is, I'm going to say management is a strong point here that he needs to work on very much. So, 4,500 on a 150K account. It's a badass kick-ass day, and you got to know when to say when.
Yeah, and it's really difficult, especially if it seems easy, because there are days where it will seem easy. And normally, I mean, we all know the phrase, what is it? Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. This is a fine example of it, unfortunately, where if something works, don't try to add a zero onto a one lot and make it a 10 lot. Try to keep taking what works and build up the account balance and let it grow. And then you can start increasing that risk. Really important. But I mean, Nathan, I'm not trying to beat you up at all. I'm so happy that you had a profitable day yesterday.
Yes.
But the most important thing that you can really do is take this as a lesson. We can be right 99% of the time and follow the rules 99% of the time. And that 1% can really cost a lot for any trader, not just you. But anybody that's been trading has done this before. Don't beat yourself up over it. Good job quitting while you still had the 10 grand, because it doesn't seem like much after you had a 5 times bigger pile of money that you took out of the markets on the day. So good job keeping it profitable, but let's get that account balance overall on the right side of zero. And the way to do that is slowly and surely get out of your losers. Set a daily loss limit that is less than the 3,000 daily loss limit on your account. You can still do a ton within a trading day without coming close to 3,000. That is a huge amount to start out your first couple of weeks in a live funded account to be risking regularly. One of the notes that I have for one of our traders later that I feature is they have a bigger loss limit, but it's that you know what? That expanded loss limit that they requested should be utilized for rare occurrences. It shouldn't be the norm. And I'll touch more on that in a little bit. But really, have an intraday trailing daily loss limit. 40,000, I think, would have been great in this situation.
Yeah.
But to give that back is just unacceptable. And as long as you're taking a lesson away from it and remembering that the next time you're in this situation, then you know what? It's somewhat of a win, because the markets teach you stuff, but they generally charge you to learn it.
Right. And that's part of it. I mean, let's hopefully he learned from it, and hopefully those that are listening don't fall into that same pit. And when the money's up there, take what the market gives you and use that lockout button. I tell you, I use that lockout button a lot, and it 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 sort of curbs the appetite to, oh my God, the market's moving. Let me get in and see what else I can get. You know what? You hit your expectation, you hit your number, keep it, shut it down, lock it out, and go enjoy the day. So, Brett, what else do we got here?
Yeah, I wanted, in line with what you were talking about with the lockout button. I know of, these are floor traders that I knew that or no, but they were on the floor, and generally this only happens when you're having a bad day. But their brokerage house, you'd sometimes see somebody from the brokerage house walk up and say, "Eddie, get flat and meet me in 5 minutes."
You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was even some traders that were even pulled off the floor.
Yeah.
Still
and
yeah.
And that's why they have the staff ambulance and paramedics on site. I don't know if they do anymore, but I know they used to. I personally know guys that broke arms down there, and all. Eddie, you've probably got a lot more than I do from the floor for stories.
Broken bones. Yes.
But what I wanted to say is, a lot of times I know of a few different instances of this, and some of the times the guys would come back and say, "Man, thanks for doing that. You did the right thing." Because nobody wants to walk up and say to a trader, "It's over. Give me your trading jacket," possibly because your account doesn't support what's going on in it. And it's not always a bad thing to be called out and have an eye-opening moment. But anyway, let's move on. I want to talk about Yenia. Yenia is in a 100K XFA, and Yenia is really doing a great job. For the most part, she is hitting that daily loss limit a little bit too quickly, and if it is a loser, that's I see 3 or 4 daily loss limits hit in the last 12 days or so. But Yenia has taken a payout, and she's taking modest profits. Her average winning day is $992. Best day is just shy of 3,000, and really doing a good job taking regular profits with 70% winning days in the markets. That's a tough thing to do. And really limiting her losses with an average day of 1,900. We need to work on that a little bit more, because it's too much when you're taking $1,000 profits. I'd love to see the average winning day get up above the average losing day. But average winning trade, reward over risk, looks good with 56% winning trades and about a 2-to-1 on winning versus losing trades. And the note that I have for Yenia is set and follow a personal DLL, daily loss limit, that is significantly lower than the 2,000 that is on the account. One other thing I noticed, which I'm kind of nitpicking if I'm saying this, is you've got a lot of trading combines. Maybe focus on the express funded account and take those trades very seriously. You're varying the number of trades greatly on a day. I see some days with 1 to 5 or 6 trades. I see others with 50. Pick a plan and follow it, and evaluate from there.
You got to commit. And you got to remember, you're committing to yourself. This is all about you being accountable. You're the one pushing the buttons, pulling the strings, and it reflects on your account.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I remember the first trade I made. I think I made 2 ticks on a crack spread in crude oil RBOB. Virtually an I did. I was a crack spreader. RBOB crack crude. The process for taking crude oil and making heating oil or automotive gasoline, otherwise known as RBOB, is cracking the crude oil. So it was called the crack spread. But anyways, I think I made 2 ticks, and it's like, holy cow! I think that trade cost me about $3 or $4, and I made $17 in profit. This is awesome. I want to do this all the time. And then it's kind of the game of sitting on my hands and watching and learning, because I still was new in the markets. And it looks like Yenia is doing that. Just on the losing days, it's even more important to take it slow and not get married to a bad trade. Like on March 6th, I see 2 trades. It looks like it was 2 lots that cost $1,000 each. And it's an easy thing to do, to let it stack up. But
she had that running for 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours on those.
Yeah, it's real easy to justify it where, I'm down 800. Okay, I'll let it go to 1,000. I'll let it go to 1,200. So easy. What's another $100 or $200? It's a trap that a lot of people fall into. Okay, now the big one that I was waiting to talk about. It's actually Coach Dakota, who I know I had mentioned before. Coach Dakota is a great trader, highly volatile trader, I will say. A few of the things that I really want to highlight, because I know all of our listeners and viewers have heard the Coach Dakota name. And they see big 5-figure numbers, big 4-figure numbers approaching 10,000 as far as his intraday live P&L. But the average daily P&L is only $179, which that alone is pretty doggone good. Wouldn't you say, Eddie?
$179.
Yeah. I mean, that's almost what? Is that 10,000? Yeah. Over 50 days, that's almost $10,000. So it adds up quickly. But Dakota's swinging so big. We'll see him up $20,000, $30,000 intraday. And then we'll see later in the day that he did request an expanded loss limit of $9,000. And he's got the engine on, but he's kind of not getting anywhere as far as the risk that we're seeing in the account. Yeah, you're making 5-figure days, but they're kind of just putting you back to even. Your roller coaster is right around baseline, but it's undulating wildly, and we need to smooth that out. And like I had mentioned earlier, is that $9,000 daily loss limit shouldn't be hit a couple or more times in a week. That should be for rare market events that you maybe did have a bad morning and lost 3,000 and you still want to be able to trade. It shouldn't be the first line of defense against losses.
Right. You know, one thing I do see here that is impressive is days complete on this 150K live, 48 days. And that's a long time. You know, that's a long time keeping it. And, you know, he's pretty open with, you know what, hey, I have a lot of losing trades. But the ones that sort of stick out, obviously, are the profitable ones that he does run with. And, you know, he does call a good market, a great market. And that's why he is front and center here at Topstep.
Yeah, and he does a great job, but it's the ones that catch you that really can cost you. And even though you're right most of the time. I mean, everything is right around baseline, really, where 49% winning trades, $710 average winning trade, 620 average losing trade. It's all right around par, but you're just enough on the right side of it that you've got the 100 and what did I say, $79 average daily P&L. And it has grown the account, but not like it should be with the numbers that we're seeing. We've got to stop those losses or minimize them as much as we can.
Right. I mean, one of the things too, Brett, if we were traders and let's just say we're up 5,000 on the day, and if we actually had $5,000 in front of us and we continue the trade, and now we're down four, now we're down to 3,500, now we're down to 3,200, now we're down to 2,700. I think a lot of us would probably have quit by then, just seeing that pile of money go down. But the thing is, we don't see that. We don't realize that. And that goes for everybody. It goes for myself. My God. You try, like we were talking earlier this morning in Fast Market, 9,000. Hey, let's make it 10. Why not 11? Why not 20? And we locked the account. Michael locked the account out, which was the right thing to do. We had a wonderful morning, and you've got to put it on that line where, hey, you know what? I'm having a very good day. The worst thing that could happen is you turn that around, you lose it, and I tell you, it's so tough to sort of say, okay, you know what? I had money up here, and now I'm negative. It's all about you, the trader. You need to make a executive decision where, hey, you know what? I'm the CEO. This is my company. We're having a great day today. We're going to call it. We're not going to risk anything. We're having a great day, and we're going to call it. And we'll be back tomorrow. And that's what you've got to think about. Trading for tomorrow.
Yeah. Keep your shingle up. And the way to do that is take profits and keep them as profits, like you were saying, Eddie. Good point.
Right. And it's confidence. We want to build confidence. And, I mean, there's been many times where I've been up money and at the end of the day, I'm down money. And you're going to be asking yourself all night long, why did I do that? What was I trying to do? And it tends to be a greed factor. I think that's the root of all evil here in trading is being greedy. And when you see that money building, you don't want to stop. You want to keep clicking that mouse. But like I said, treat the account as a business. And, the thing is, you're going to be less reckless. You're going to be more focused, and you're going to be making better decisions for the account/company. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, well said. And I mean, I remember days going home thinking, man, if I didn't go to the office today and trade away, I'd have $500 more in my pocket. I paid $500 to go work today. It's a pretty sinking feeling. You certainly do have to risk it to make it, but there's boundaries that you need to set to keep that healthy so that you can trade for tomorrow.
Right. Exactly. All right. Well, Brett, any closing comments here for our traders in our community chat?
I think just lock in those profits. You don't go broke taking profits. So even if it's modest or humble, take home $400, $500, $5,000, whatever you're at, and don't risk it, or risk 20% of it. And that way you've got something to hang your hat on.
Exactly. Well said, Brett. Brett, it was great having you here today, and get you back here again very soon. Coming up next is group coaching with JD and Hogan. Listen, if you got a question for the Hogster, there is a link up top, and group coaching questions, fill that out, and hopefully JD will get to your question. But otherwise, Brett, thank you for your time, my friend. Thank you for your advice, your insight, your knowledge, and of course, your good looks and cool swag.
Thanks so much. Trade well, everybody.